Wagwan. Yo, this is Tech versus Tech. And this video, it took a while to make. I'm not gonna say it took a while to make this video. I was kind of procrastinating, I'm not gonna lie. But it's a big video because it was my first funded challenge that I passed. And I want to talk about it. I want to tell you guys the ups, the downs, what I had to go through, the mental state, you know what I'm saying? The patience I had to have, the discipline I had to have in order to be able to actually do that. And it took me 3 years to now kind of starting to see some consistency. So I'm going to talk about that in this video. And yeah, definitely if you have questions, leave it in the comments. Follow me on this channel, or I have IG, so Tech versus Tech on all platforms. And yeah, let's go. Let's talk about it.
Yo, Tech, start the video, fam.
I'm excited for this video. I gotta show you guys what time it is. You know what I'm saying? I gotta do that one more time. Get some life happening in the room. But anyways, you know, I know you want me to get into like the I guess I could show you guys on the screen different trade setups that I was looking at. But I think the most important thing that I want to start with is going to be the psychology, like the mental aspect of like trading, right? Because yeah, it doesn't. So I'm not gonna say too much about it. It's just like the basic stuff that people, if you've been trading for a while, you'll just know. So in order for you to pass like a funded challenge, definitely you have to like work. If you don't have a plan, like a trading plan, then I could see you, especially if you've been not been doing it this long, blowing accounts. That's like one of the worst feelings, blowing an account. But it'll happen if you don't have a plan. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. I don't want to wish that on nobody, but like if you don't have a trading plan, then you're just gonna get random results, and you're not gonna be able to, like, even if you win a trade, what happens when you lose a trade? Because the same way that you, like, if you're just taking a bunch of different types of trades and it's not like one that you can keep on doing for a long time and collecting data on it, then you're just going to keep getting random results. And I even had to deal with that until I found different setups that I like. And even now, still just like being patient enough to wait for that same exact setup to happen is just, it's like you're sitting and watching paint dry. You have to be okay with watching paint dry until that setup that you like comes around. And you're going to feel different things like FOMO, like fear of missing out, especially when you've waited days for like a setup to happen, or maybe you're a day trader, so you see that setup happen every day, but that one move is the one for the day. And if you miss it, you might catch it a few seconds later, a few minutes later, and it's already gone too far. But what do? You click the buy button and try to jump in the trade while it's moving. Meanwhile, it was about to reverse and go back for another retracement. Yes, you could probably manage the drawdown, but this is where the risk part comes in, because if you put a huge lot size and then it comes back down, now it's too big of a drawdown that could probably wipe out your account or whatever the case is. So there's so many things that are like moving parts, and I think that's why trading, that when you actually like learn it, the basics of it is easy, but actually, like, basketball is easy, dribbling a ball, doing a crossover, doing all of these things. But to be able to have that IQ to do things at the right time, pass at the right time, shoot at the right time, like do a spin move, whatever the case is, at the right time, that's where the challenging part comes in, and where the experience is needed. But anyways, yeah, and I'm still on the journey too. I'm not saying I'm like the greatest trader out there or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just learning. I just want to show you guys that I passed this challenge, and that's what this video is about, and what I did on my journey to get, to pass that challenge. So other than that, discipline, like I mentioned, having a strategy, having something that you can repeat multiple times. The next thing I would say is emotions. Like, when you lose a trade, are you going to wait a bit? Are you done for the day? Like, do you trade 3 times and for the day, and if all 3 of those trades fail, do you just say, okay, I'm done, and then come back the next day? Because what I was doing at the beginning was, if I didn't pass a trade, immediately I try to go, like, say I lose a trade now. I'm just making up numbers. Say I lose $200 on a trade. Immediately going back in to win 300 because you still want to make profit on the day. But then now you're down another few hundred because you took a trade. You have to know when to quit, basically. You know what I mean? Because you might not be seeing your setup that day, or the market, maybe news is coming out, or sometimes I've even traded by accident on a bank holiday and you're like, the chart's not moving, you know? So even just to learn like when the pair that you're trading, whether it's, you know, a forex pair or a indice metal or anything like that, you want to know more about that pair, like when they move, so that you can avoid trading at the wrong time. But yeah, like emotions, having your emotions intact when you lose a trade, and not revenge trading as they call it, right? Revenge trading is basically just like, you know, your trade doesn't go your way and you take a loss, but you're not accepting that loss. You're immediately going back in and trying to win another trade, and then you lose a trade and then you try to go bigger, and then you ultimately, that leads to blowing your account, right? And just patience, right? Like I mentioned before, being able to look at paint dry, waiting for that setup to happen. So I want to talk about that stuff, because a lot of people that show you online, like, just the wins, right? They're showing you the wins. There are people that talk about the losses as well, but you know, most people, when they get into trading, they get into it for the wins. So their mind is just focused on all the wins. And sometimes you need to actually like understand what the other side looks like, so that you can make better decisions. Next, I would say, like, the mindset of trading. There's a lot of good books that are out there right now. Like, I read Trading in the Zone, and there's a book called The Disciplined Trader, and they go over different things about the mindset to have when you're trading, and that does help a lot. Your mindset matters when it comes to trading. You can keep winning. You know, you have your win streaks, but then when the losing streaks come, it's about how you deal with it, right? So you need to have the right mind when it comes to trading. I'm going to go on to my computer and show you the challenge that I did. So this is called the Fivers. So yeah, first of all, the Fivers is, you know, it's a really recognized prop firm. And if you go on PROPFIRM Match, you'll actually see that, like, I was looking at the reviews before. One of my friends actually put me on to the Fivers, right? So when you look at the top, like, reviewed ones, Fivers is at the top, right? So that's one thing that's good. And you can actually, the thing I like about PROPFIRM Match is you can see how long these companies have been around. You know, the ones that people know about is like FTMO. Like, FTMO is a really popular one. You know, you hear a lot about Alpha Capital, Funding Pips, but yeah, the Fivers has been at the top for the longest time. And that's for all reviews, right? You can see the amount of reviews. There's like almost 1,000 reviews, right? Then you have for getting funded. So they're at the top for getting funded, and they're at the top for getting paid out. Obviously, you want to get paid out, so you know that's a good thing. So that's why I selected them. But then I went and chose, you know, you come down here, you can see the challenges. So the one that I did was the 100K challenge. So it's a two-step evaluation. So the first round, you have to make 8K. You have to make 8%. So that's 8K. And then the second round, you have to make 5K. So the thing about it, it's not like, oh, like, obviously these can be high numbers depending on how you trade. You have some people that scalp, you have some people that day trade, but you got to pass that amount. And I mean, I want to say, you know, it's not easy, because you have to think about it. You have to follow, when you're dealing with prop firms, you got to follow specific rules, right? Like, see, this daily loss is 5%. So you have to lose, like, if you drop below 5,000 in a day, then you're done. They cut you off. Even if you're on the second second step of the challenge and you lose 5%, the challenge is done, the whole entire challenge. So this one, max loss is 10%. So you can only lose 5K in a day, but if you lose more than, I believe this is 10K overall, then you're done, right? So they give you 100K equity. So then that means if you get down to 90K, you're done. They'll cut you off right away, right? So now let's talk about when you pass it. So now when you pass it, any trade that you take that's over that initial balance, they'll give you 80% of whatever you trade. So it's pretty decent. But you have to wait every 2 weeks, so 14 days. Every 2 weeks, they'll give you a payout, and you can just request it. And I'll show you what that looks like on their website. And then here's the prices here. So there's different ones you could take. Like, you don't have to do the 100K, especially if you're a new trader. Like, I really just believed that I could pass it. So I was like, okay, if I don't do, and I had a friend that passed the 100K challenge multiple times. So that was like motivation. That was all the motivation I needed, because I know if someone else that I know personally could do it, then I'm gonna go for it. And that's kind of what was on my mind, and I think it actually helped me to pass it. But here's some other ones too. Like, you can do the 20K, 5K, whatever you want to start with. If you're interested in doing a challenge, is the best one. And I think the reason why I like funded challenges is because, like, the rules is what makes you actually level up. Because if you can follow these rules, that's automatically going to increase the discipline you have, and you're going to carry that into the point when you actually start your own account. You still have these rules in your head, so it does help, right? So yeah, so this is the challenge that I did, and there's rules that, like, if you want to know what the rules are, I can go through some of them. So here, like, if you go on PROPFIRM Match, you can click on the actual company, this is the Fivers in this case. And some of the rules that they have is you can't trade news. You have to trade. So if news is coming out 8:30, which is a popular time for news, you would have to be in the trade 2 minutes before or 3 minutes before, because after 2 minutes you can't enter it. And then let's just say you try to catch the trade after 8:30, you have to wait 2 minutes, past two minutes, in order to be able to take that trade, or you'll breach for the day. They won't cut you off, but whatever money you make on that trade, they're not gonna honor it. And at that point, you're not really making money. That's just I'm just talking about the challenge portion of it. So let's say that you needed like a certain amount to pass the challenge, and you traded news, they just won't honor it. It'll show like a red warning on your account showing that you traded during news, right? So copy trading, basically what that is like when you have multiple funded accounts, you can have a master, and then you can have just the sub accounts under that. So when you make a trade, it'll copy to all the other trades. And that's actually a good idea. Like, if you have, like, the goal is to get multiple funded accounts so that you can risk less, because then basically, let's just say you were normally doing let's say a 0.5 lot on a trade. You can say, you know what, I'm going to risk less and go down to a 0.15 across 3, 4, 5 accounts. So now you're risking less per account, but the total number is going to be more. So that's another way where you can kind of like manage your risk, because that's one of the major things about trading. It's having a trading plan, having a trading strategy, a plan. They're all different things. Having a trading plan, having a trading strategy, having a risk management plan. Like, those 3 things right there, like, if you don't have those in place, you're cooked. So yeah, that's copy trading. And there's some rules around that. There's some things that they don't allow you to do. So I'm not going to go through all of them, but you guys can read that if you go on to PROPFIRM Match. As long as you can follow these, and it's not that much. Once you get used to it, then it's just second nature, and you just keep following it. But it does, you don't want to breach them, because there's some that they'll take away your account right away. So let's go to my account now. So this was the 100K high stakes. This was the second step that I passed. So I needed to make only 5K. So it started at 100K and then you made 5K. So if you look at this, like, you know, I started off kind of just up and down over here. And then I got up to a certain amount, and look at this. The lowest I got down to 96. So I got down to pretty much half of what you need to lose to like blow the account. And then I was able to just like, you know, take my time, be more patient, and then finally get to the point where I passed the challenge. So yeah, like you have to be patient with these things. You're not like, even if you have losing days, losing streaks, because that's what happens. You'll be winning, you know, days, and then you can have like a losing streak. When you do experience a losing streak, is to just lower your risk amount, and then you'll get through it. Because as long as you know, lower your risk all the way down, when it comes to the point where you see those really good trades that you probably never seen in a while, then you can start, you know, adding a little bit more to it, more risk to it, and then get yourself out of drawdown, which is when your account is below the amount that the initial amount, and then you'll just slowly start building it back up. So shows that I passed my profit target. You know, these are the trades that I took, so they give you all of the trades. You can see the status of it was a win. You can see the losses in there too. So look, there's some times where, you know, you lost, win, you know, you got to kind of manage that. And you have to have rules like that will be in your trading plan as well. Like, you know, that if you take, like, I don't know how much trades you're going to do in a day, but let's just say your rule is 3 trades back to back. If you lose that, you're done for the day. If you follow that, then it'll keep you out of like crazy losing streaks, right? The problem is a lot of people don't follow that. I've done that myself too, where it's like you lose 3 and you're like, okay, one more, and then it turns to 5 trades and then you don't win. So you have to kind of follow your risk management and follow your trading plan. And that's going to ultimately get you to a point where you start winning more than you lose, where you can actually pass a challenge. So that's just good advice right there. But anyways, it shows my win streak for this challenge was 44% win rate. And some people will say, oh, how did you pass if it's 44%? It doesn't, like, the percentage doesn't mean that you, like, if you're under 50%, you can still beat a challenge, because that just means the number of trades. So if I took like 10 trades, right? What if 5 of those trades were like a low amount? But let's just say I had 2 trades that were huge and massive. My percentage would actually be lower than this, but I would still pass the challenge because of those 2 trades were huge, right? So you don't have to worry about the win rate so much. It's about the consistency and having a trading plan and sticking to the strategy that you have that's going to get you to win. So you don't have to really worry about the win rate. Obviously a higher win rate is going to be better, because that means you're not losing as much trades. But anyways, yeah, so that's pretty much what that is. And yeah, that's how I passed my challenge. I want to show you on my, let's go to my charts now. I actually want to switch to, let's switch seats. There we go. Let's switch this. There we go. All right, so this was the last trade I took to pass the challenge, and it was in Asian session. I was talking to one of my trader friends. Shout out to Taylor. But I was talking to one of my trading friends, or actually one of my real friends. What am I talking about? Trading friends. That's Taylor's the homie. But like, he was telling me that, you know, with the group that he trades with, that they trade Asian session. So I was like looking at this point in time, I was writing down all of the different time frames where price moves for the pairs that I trade. And for gold, I started noticing that it moves in every session, pretty much every session. Not for lately, not so much in London for me, but for Asian session, for sure, it was moving a lot. So I was like, okay, let me just kind of peep what's going on. And so you had this area right here where price was moving up pretty aggressively, and then it hit this resistance, and then it kind of consolidated around here a bit. But I knew that like when you get these types of pullbacks here, you want to look at the areas where like, you know, price pulling back down here, coming back up, and then pulling down again, and then breaking that. This is a break of structure pretty much, is what I'm trying to say, right? So above here, above this area right here would be bullish. Just zoom in closer. Above this area would be bullish. So when we got this break above, and then I seen price consolidate around here, I was like, okay. And you have to also look at the time, because Asian sessions is like pretty much from 8 o'clock till 5 a.m. But the price for gold starts moving around between 8:30 and 9:30, something has to pop off. So when you come around here, it's around 6. And sometimes it starts moving earlier because pre-Asian is 7 o'clock. So this right here is a 30-minute time frame. So this would have been the candle that ended at 6:30, and then you had 7 to 6:30 to 7. So around here, I'm starting to see that price is breaking above this level, and I know that when 8 o'clock comes in, we're going to start getting some more volume. So look, you have 7:30 to 8, then you have 8 o'clock to 8:30. Now I'm already convinced. I know that we're above. We already had like a break and retest of this high. So now the volume is going to start pushing, and this push is what got me to pass the challenge. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. This push got me to pass the challenge. You will see me post maybe somewhere on the screen my certificate from the Fivers. I actually want to frame that. But yeah, that was the challenge that I did. I'll probably do more videos about just talking about mindset and everything like that, because I think I'm not talking about it enough right now. I just want to get this video out, but I need to talk about that more, because I think that is the most important thing, especially for anyone that wants to get into trading, because you'll learn all of this market structure stuff within your first year. Learning how to use TradingView, learning how to, you know, use all of the different tools and instruments to trade. But in terms of the mindset, that's a personal journey. Whatever you're doing in your personal life and how you govern yourself, like, because it's you against you when it comes to that part of it. That's the part where like it's gonna separate you from being profitable or not profitable. Like the other stuff, you're gonna learn quick. And that's why sometimes you'll hear people like, you know, it takes 3 years, 4 years, 5, 6, 10 years even, because just to master that part of you is the most challenging part of this journey. So yeah, I think I'm gonna call it here. I'll do more videos in the future, but I just wanted to talk about that. I'm excited. I passed the challenge. Let me get some air horns back in the chat. Bap, bap, bap. And yeah. Okay. So that's a wrap. Tech versus tech. I also need you guys, because you know I'm gonna start making more videos. Obviously, this looks like a rookie video because I'm rambling over words and stuff like that. But I'm trying to get to the point where I'm nice with it. But yes, like, subscribe, share the video, and that's a wrap. Tech versus tech. I'm out.